Welcome back. With Conversations with Chris and Crystal.
Today, I wanted to talk about something that kind of has been bothering me for a while. And this week, something happened that really made me think about it more and made me think, why do I do this?
No, none of us have ever had that feeling before.
So, because you see on movies and things, somebody says something snotty or whatever, and the other person has this great comeback, and you're like, oh, I want to do that. Mm-hmm. Well, this last week, I was in Walmart in Apache Junction, by the way, in case you go there. And this cow in a blue vest comes waddling up to me. She wasn't fat. I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
Because she irritated me.
Okay.
So I'm checking out at the self-checkout thing. And at that particular Walmart, they have two self-checkout areas. One has this big thing where if you've got a lot of groceries, you've got all this space. And the one that I was at the little one. But I had like 3 bottles of cat litter, jugs of cat litter, and 2 or 3 cartons of Pepsi, mm-hmm. and the rest was all little stuff. Mm-hmm. So she sees the big stuff, and she comes out and she goes, there's a lot more counter space over in that area. And I was like, okay. That's all I said.
Well, because they're by a door, and if you're going to that door, too, you might tend to go to that one.
Well, I was thinking, I'm not over there, am I? And it's like 20 feet from here. So you think I couldn't see that? Did you think there might be some reason why I'm at this particular one and not that one? But did I say that? No, I just said, okay.
Yeah, and just continued. You didn't go over there, did you?
No, I continued with what I was doing. Yeah. But it just irritates me that I don't say these things. I mean, I wouldn't have said it like that. I would have been like, well, thank you for telling me. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Even though it's right over there.
Yeah, I would never know. Yeah, what kind of a comeback could you come back with that? That's something to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
would you have?
But then the question is, though, why do I feel like I can't say what I'm thinking? Why do I do that?
Because it's not going to come out right. It's going to come out in the wrong way, probably, because you get irritated. Well, did we do our other one on customer service?
Yeah, we talked about customer service jobs, but we haven't done the customer service.
Yeah, our customer service issues mm-hmm. that we have, because that would be one of them that people, I don't know. Of course, I have an acute sense of the obvious. I can say things and offend people very easily.
That's something.
Speaking
I saw
of that, Crystal,
one time where the person said something obvious and the other one goes, "Well, thank you, Captain Obvious."
Yeah.
So that would have been a good.
That's a good comeback. Yeah, that's a great comeback. Yeah, thank you, Captain Obvious. How old was she?
Oh, probably 40s, 50s, somewhere in there.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I know some people are just a little dense. More dense than others, and they don't see the forest for the trees, and they...
So you think she thought I was dense?
No, she was dense.
Oh.
And no, she was dense, and she was stating the obvious, which most people would go, yeah, okay, so what's your point?
Yeah, that was kind of where I was thinking, but it's like, I in my head referred to her as Hannah Helpful.
Okay.
But, it's like,
come
on.
That's it.
Why don't these people think that you might have a reason for being where you are instead of in the other spot? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, and of course she was trying to be helpful and let you know there was another spot. Maybe she really truly believed, like I said, a little dense. Yeah, that, and naive. People, I'm just kind of trying to guess how people think. But being at that age, could she have had that passive-aggressive feeling to what she was saying to you? Like,
could
really?
Be. Like, why are you here with all your crap?
Yeah. As opposed to, there's another place over there that you can go. It's got a little more space. People do that passive-aggressive thing, and those I don't like. Those I have trouble with. Passive-aggressive.
That's kind of why I was irritated. Well, and that's another thing. It's like, I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt all the time. Like, oh, maybe she was just being helpful. That's why I just was like, okay. Whereas, what if she really was being...
Yeah. Or just had nothing better to do and decided to be passive aggressive. What is that? PA, passive aggressive. PA people. I'm going to make a shortened version of that. We got the PA people.
PSAG.
Yeah. Oh man, they're just Yeah, that can be a difficult one if you get that snotty remark. I don't know if we talked about that one that I had at the grocery store up here.
The lady that followed you?
Oh no, that's a different one. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's not a customer service issue, but
that one.
yeah, the grocery store had just put in after all these years, they finally put in their own self-serve section, and I had all this stuff, and I knew I needed somebody to help me with it, and there was nobody there. So I went, to one of the lines, and it was only one line open, and it was very long, and I had been told that, well, you can go over to the coffee shop and they'll help you. Well, there was somebody over there having a meltdown of some kind, and so then my last resort was to go to customer service, which I have found many times. I've said, is it okay if I take my stuff to customer service, as long as it's not produce, and because they don't have a scale. So I went, and this lady that was working there usually worked in flowers, but she was behind the counter. And I said to her when I brought my stuff up, I said, this is so cool that you guys got this self-serve. And she goes, yeah, we got the self-serve so you can use it. Like, take your stuff and go somewhere else. And I said, well, the guy isn't there, or there's nobody there. And she says, well, where is he? She asked me where he is.
Yeah, like you would know.
I know. I'm like, okay.
Well, if I knew where he was, I wouldn't be here.
That's right. They're the same thing. It's the same thing. And so I got my stuff, and I thought, I went home. I'm not that far away, and I thought, I really don't deserve that treatment. And so I called back, and unfortunately it goes to customer service, and I know she was the one who answered. She had me on hold forever. So I thought, it's so close. I just ran back, and I found the manager, nicest lady, just really nice. And she said she would look into it and take care of it. Because I said, I just don't think I need to be treated like that. I don't think people need to be nasty who work there. I mean, you can have a bad day or whatnot, then that is probably not the job for you, which it would not be the job for me. I totally get that. Because and then I told her about the guy that she has there who is like, oh my gosh, he's the world's nicest. I think everybody should go to that grocery store just to meet this guy. I got to find out what his name is. He is just the sweetest man. And I think I was having trouble one time with my back or something, and I needed help out to the car with my groceries. And he said, of course, I'd be happy to help you. He goes, that is what I'm here for. And I was like, who is this guy? And I was just there the other day, and he stood out of my way. I was, walking out the door, and he just kind of stepped back a little bit, and he said, well, you have a good day, just nicest guy. And she said, yes, I'd like 20 more like him. Yeah, boy, grocery store with those kind of people. Oh my gosh, what a dream.
Well, speaking of a situation where you go back afterwards, I don't think I mentioned on here about my final days at Honey Baked Ham.
Oh yeah. That's a joy.
I'm not going to go into all the details, but basically, my manager, the guy who ran the store, nice guy, but he had a temper, and he would say inappropriate things, do inappropriate things from time to time, and he got mad at me and at one time, and he slammed my stuff down on the table, and I was just like, So then he did something that. I ended up staying home for a few days, and while I was home, I applied for a job somewhere else and got it. And so I told him, okay, I can come back, when you get this taken care of. And he goes, so I have it already. You're on the schedule for tomorrow. So I was like, okay, you can take me off the schedule. I found another job. Thanks.
Yeah.
And so when I went to bring back my key, because I was a key holder and all that stuff, I had it all in a bag, and I had this long note to him because he had irritated this other lady who had worked there, really super nice lady, and she quit on the spot, and he ended up sending her flowers, as an apology for being the jerk that he was. So I wrote in the note, when she quit, you sent her flowers, but now you're acting like a 2-year-old with me, basically.
Because he hid, didn't he? You went in.
Well, that's where I was going.
Hid, yeah.
So I go and I put this stuff on the manager's desk. and I come out of the door, and he's peeking around the corner over there, and I started to say, and he, that's when he zoomed away before I could even say, I just put the stuff on your desk.
Yeah.
And I was like, seriously?
I know.
So I left. And then when I got home, I called my mom and said, can you believe this stuff? And then I was like, you know what? Because I had made these crocheted these hams, lifelike hams for the store. And I had left them there and everything. And I was like, you know what? I spent a lot of time and effort on those hams. So for all I know, he's just going to throw them out because he's being a little baby. Yeah. So I drove back and I walked in the door, and the lady behind the counter's like, oh, hello. And I said, hi. And I grabbed my hams and I left.
Yep.
But,
Well, that's been the thing for me. The last job that I had, I really, I thought to myself, how much effort do you want to put into this? Because everybody always takes advantage of me and ends up hurting me and ends up being so mean and rude to me. And but I liked these two ladies I was working with, and I really wanted to do everything that I could to make things work out. Unfortunately, there was a lot of, as far as, I know we've talked about this before, as far as projects as assigned, in this case it was projects as assumed, which I find that is not very respectful of other people to just assume they're going to figure out you want them to do something. I think there's some value to having you go and ask them, is this something that you could do? Would you mind doing this? Or telling them what you want, or something like that.
Some guidance anyway.
Yeah, anything. I mean, but they assumed, and one of it was they said, well, you're the organizer, you would organize it. It's like, well, only if you ask somebody to organize something. Yes, never assume. I mean, we know that. And and so that was really, really technically really difficult for me, that, like you said, you did that a little extra effort. I remember when you got that job, you were so happy. You guys were just two peas in a pod, and with the manager, and she just got along, and it was great.
Yeah, that's why I was so shocked, that he turned on me like that. And I was like, seriously? And to this day, I've never gotten my flowers as an apology.
Yeah.
Not that I care, but I just,
I know, but
it just bothers me that,
Yeah, people are just so difficult that way. I don't appreciate that. And that's why I'm afraid to go back out and work, because I think people would take advantage.
Well, but by the same token, I don't regret what I did for that store, because to me that's a reflection on me, not on them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah, we do everything that we can.
And I love challenges, so I crocheted those hams as a challenge.
Yeah,
so, I enjoyed doing it. And I have one wrapped in honey-baked ham paper at home.
Oh, cute. Oh, cute. That's a cute idea.
But anyway.
Yeah, I know. No, it's this customer service effort, and both of us we've been in customer service, we've been in admin, and it's just really difficult to put forth your best when people stomp all over you.
Yeah.
It's but we work as unto God, and we do the best that we can as unto God, and not these other people. But in my case, I mean, there are people that are just waiting to boot me out of there because they can't handle it. I think sometimes with me, when I work with people, a lot of times I'll hear that I am the closest thing to a religious value that they've ever encountered.
Yeah, I guess that's why I do the things with
and
being polite, because it's like the golden rule.
Of course.
You do unto others as you would have them do unto you, not as they do unto you.
Yes, hello. And they say, to shake the dust off your feet from where, people that really don't care about you or are valuing you in any way. And so I know that we do that, and we work as unto God, but I find that people get, they condemn themselves. They're not Christian, they don't understand, and they start watching me and feeling like, boy, I'm not doing things right, am I?
And I don't want you reminding me.
Yes, that's it. They don't want you around to remind them of that. So I'm a seed sower. Eventually, someday, somebody will come along that will harvest that seed, because they knew that they knew, and but that's a lot of it for me. that I think I end up condemning them. I'm not even doing anything. I'm just sitting there. But
just being you.
I know. And they feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not this or that. And I remember, one of them, the father had passed away, and, you and I understand. And if anybody has a question about where you're going to end up when you die, let us know. We'd be happy to help you with that. We want to know that you know for sure.
And that's one thing that I have no fear of death, because I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine living with that unknown, that I don't know where I'm going kind of thing.
I don't know. But it was when the father had passed away, and his wife said, but he was a nice man. He would give you the shirt off his back. He would do anything for you. And it's like,
but was
that, yes, that.
Did he know the Lord?
Did he know the Lord? And did he have a relationship with the Lord? That's a whole different thing. And so we probably should talk about that one of these times. We'll have our own little sermonette here. And but that, again, that's why I think some of the problems come for me with work. And
yeah, I had never thought of that before too. But you're right. I bet
they do.
Yeah.
They get very jealous. They feel like you have it all, and we do. We're blessed, and they know it, and we don't even have to say it. They just know. They can tell because it exudes off of you, and kind of scary stuff. But hopefully that's not happening to you, and things are working out for you. And we wish everybody the best, and we're going to continue to. Talk about our customer service issues. I've been in and out of customer service so many times, and I really appreciate good customer service, and it has become a thing of the past.
That's another thing you just reminded me of. One time I was in a store, and there's a pile of clothes on the floor with the hangers all loose, and I started picking them up and putting them on the hangers, and this guy came up and he says, "Have you worked in retail before?" I said, well, at that time I hadn't. I said, no. And he says, because most people don't do things like that. I said, well, I said, I just think it's rude to leave things like that.
Right. No, that's what Jeff does. Jeff at the grocery store, if he takes something off the shelf, he moves everything else up.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he does that all the time. Or if he sees anything on the floor, he'll pick it up. And we walk through the grocery store, and he constantly looks at me and he says, "Why do I care? Why am I doing this?" But he does. It's just innate with him, and he's never worked in a grocery store. Yeah. And he just wants to make sure things are, or that other people can reach them. That's another thing. They're too far back. He'll reach up
I'll
and
do
pull
that
forward.
too sometimes. And sometimes people, because I'm tall,
Yeah.
sometimes people will say, "Can you get that thing off the shelf for me?" I'm like, "Sure." It's nice to be good for something.
Yeah, no, I know, it's great. You have to come with me because I can't reach anything. Well, I think that's all we've got for this episode. And
thanks for watching.
Yes, and we appreciate it. And just remember, take care of yourself because nobody else will.